PG fans? It's Sean Hammond with PremierGuitar.com. We're at Summer NAMM 2012 in Nashville at the Benado effects booth. We've got Sage Benado. You have 3 new stomp boxes, and tell us about the one we're going to hear first.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for coming, and I'm honored and thrilled to have you again. Well, the new one we called AR1 Jazzy Blues, and AR stands for Andy Reese, the jazz player. And I wanted to create a box that will be used by jazz players. We all know that those guys just like to plug into the amplifier, use nothing. But so I wanted to have something that's going to be good for them. It's going to be comfortable to plug it in and play and never lose their tone. So I worked with Andy Reese, and then we finally got this. And what do we have is the first one over here. It's just a clean boost where it can just cream up your tone if you ever need it, or if you plug into an amplifier that doesn't have a lot of juice and you just need to bring it.
Can we hear the amp with the effect off and then see the difference?
Play. So now that's the amp with nothing on. And then we can, and now that's the clean boost coming in. So you can get the gain to completely nothing and just control it with the volume. So that's the amp. And that's the clean. Now if you want to grind it a little bit, just...
Now tell us about the post-pre switch. That's kind of unusual for an overdrive.
Yes, for a clean boost. The pre-post will be for if you want to boost your overdrive, you can either be before the overdrive or after the overdrive.
Ah, cool.
So if you like to boost your overdrive after, you're just going to switch it on to post. This come right over here.
Okay.
And just boost it from there.
That's cool.
And we can give it a little demo. For instance, this is the overdrive.
So when it's post, it's a little bit hairier and wider.
Yeah, exactly. So you're actually kind of like boosting your drive after it instead of before it. So, and then again, now the neutral drive, it's actually a redesign of the original overdrive of the PB1, which is the bigger board. I just redesigned it. And I think it's a little bit more transparent. It's a little bit more creamy, much more responsive. And, you know, I like it. So that's what it is. So you can have so that's without it. So you can pretty much play with it.
And that's with the gain pretty low. What does it sound like when you get pretty high up on the gain?
Then again, you can go from white to cream, which is going to change the clipping.
So with the cream switch selected, it's a little bit more. What's that?
Vintagey tone kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay, and then next to that we got Echo Zen.
The Echo Zen, it's actually the delay that I had over on the PB1. And I just tweaked it a little bit. It's much more responsive on the level out, so it's coming much more gradual instead of just right in your face. So for instance, let's play. So instead of coming right in on a low volume, it's very gradual. So you can really play with it.
So this is a digital delay made to sound like analog.
Yeah, it's like a hybrid. Yeah, the hybrid. Yeah.
How many milliseconds are available?
Just 610, 20, pretty
Okay.
much full. Yeah.
And tell us about the loop switch on there.
Well, just taking it from the PB1, the loop over here got a couple of options. Like if you look on the back of the pedal, you can have a couple of options. If you have an amplifier that has a effect loop in it, you can send the delay to the loop of the amp and run your heavy tone straight to the amp. So what's going to happen, your output will go straight to the amp, and that's going to be your heavy tone. And the loop over here, the send return, will go to the effect loop, and your delay will go over to the loop instead of the front of the amp. It's give you a much more presence to your tone, just
More
like in
pristine.
the studio, you know. Yeah.
That's what.
Again, it was taken for the PB1, which is the same. Another option you can have if you have your own pedals that you want to run in the chain. I don't know if you like a tremolo, or maybe you have your own overdrive.
Of course.
So instead of just putting them there here in the first line, they will actually come right over here if you use the loop after the overdrive, before the delay, by using the loop switch.
Oh, that's ingenious. All right, what's next step? The Adverb?
The Adverb is my new complete redesigned reverb. Again, taking from the PB1, I completely redesigned the reverb. I want it to be much more transparent, much more controllable. So there's a few add-on features over here. For instance, one of them is the input gain, which I can control the input coming to the chip without affecting the output completely. And then you got the level over here. I'm actually using it for unity, to help you get your guitar in a unity with the effect and the amp without losing every time you click the effect on. You don't want to either go overloaded or all of a sudden drop it. So you can get your unity with the level, or now if you want more of it, you can just dial it up. The cool thing about it is, Jason, I can turn the level completely off, and I'm still going to have a reverb, just like you have on a twin reverb. You don't have a volume on the reverb. You just have the depth control, and that's what it is. So here's the amp with nothing. So now you can hear the verb. The volume is off. So I can now control it however I want it. So I'm using the level to help you get unity. So now you're unity. So now I turn off the dip, which is the reverb. There's nothing, but I'm pretty much level. And now I can just dial my. And then I got the tone control, so I can get it like creamier, brighter if I want to. Now, if I raise the input gain, I can get more of the chip, so that will actually give you more of the spring. Now,
Sounds really good.
the shimmer over here, something happened by mistake, and I liked it, and I left it on. I was trying to create something, and it didn't work well, but I heard something that happened over there. I was like, wait, you know what? I think I'm gonna keep it on. So I'm just gonna turn it on and see if you can hear it. So now this is just a verb.
A little modulation in there. Now, is that shimmer effect adjustable at all, or?
Well, you adjust it with your input and the depth.
So it does change with the reverb settings.
Yes, and the reason I didn't want to have separate knobs for that is in case you are in a show and you play it and you want to go back to the reverb without starting changing anything. All you got to do is just turn off that shimmer, you're back to normal, you know. So, but it is adjustable by the input and depth, which actually control the verb. And then when you kicking the shimmer, just control that also.
All right, Sage, so now we've got the SolBURNER distortion hooked up. Tell us about it.
So the SolBURNER is actually the same distortion that I had on my PB1, and a lot of people asked me to release it as a standalone, and I decided to do so. So it's the same one as on the PB1. The add-on features is just like on the Adverb. You have that in and out on the front also, and the two outputs working at the same time, so you can go to two amplifiers if you want to.
Now, some people, when they see a name like SolBURNER, especially with the SOL, they might wonder certain things. Is it inspired by certain amps or whatever?
Yes.
Is this like inspired by Soldano or something?
Soldano, the SLO 100 and the superchargers, like the two of my favorite amps.
So it's a pretty aggressive overdrive.
I think so.
Let's hear it.
So what I did also on the gain, I dial it when it's on low. You can get a little crunchy tone. So let's play. So this is without it. And this is with it. So it's like when you bring it instead, you can still get a little crunchier tone. Now, the one thing I did over here with the EQ, normally on most pedals, when you have your EQ on 12 o'clock, that's your flat sound.
Yeah.
Over here, it's not. And the reason is, it's because later on you'll see when I start changing the configurations over here, it gives you that nasally tone that known for old Marshalls and even the SolBURNER. But just to get that almost straightforward, this is flat over here, the way the EQ is set up. And then from there I can go. So now,
It's a lot of range.
and that's why, you know, my engineers and I worked on it.
Let's hear the nastiest it can go.
Okay.
All right, cool. So we've covered a bunch of stuff here. How much are these going to go for?
The the SolBURNER is $199 street price. The Adverb is $245. The smaller by the way, I forgot to mention there's going to be 4 different versions of this small one. That's the first one. And the second version is going to have what I call a triple gain. It's the clean boost, the overdrive, and the SolBURNER. And the third one gonna be the SolBURNER, overdrive and delay. And then the fourth one, it's a Paul Franklin signature. It's gonna be for pedal steel players. Gonna have the overdrive, the echo zen, and the reverb without the shimmer option.
Okay.
And these are gonna go for $629 straight price.
All 4 of them.
All 4 of them, yeah. And all of them gonna have the AB box, which I don't think we talked about it, but it has a built-in AB box. So instead of, if you want to run your guitar to something completely different, all you have to do, and it has a dedicated out over here, you just click on that and you
Send
send
a completely unaffected signal somewhere else.
It's going out, yeah.
Cool. Where can people go to find out more about these online?
This is gonna be probably online in the next week, so BenadoFX.com.
Okay, BenadoFX.com. Awesome. Thanks, Jason, for letting us hear that stuff. Sage, always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Take care, man.
Thank you.
I'm Sean Hammond. Thanks for watching PremierGuitar.com.